Now, about 6 months ago, KTN highlighted the plight of physically challenged street beggars who had been lured into the country from neighbouring Tanzania with a promise of a better life. At the time, authorities arrested those involved in the syndicate. However, as Betty Kyallo found out, hundreds, if not thousands of street beggars still find their way into the country and end up leading tortuous lives in the hands of their masters. Here now is another face of the plight of the physically challenged beggars.
It is about 5 a.m. in Nairobi. Residents in various parts of the city are already on the move. A buzz of activities that introduce a new day in the city life. In the thick of darkness, there is another group of people that is also on the move. Persons with disabilities who you often see on the streets. It is in these early hours that they make their way to the central business district by whichever means possible. Many of them jostle to get space on the few border operators whose riders are patient enough to ferry them to the city center. Their safety is secondary. It is believed that a good number of these street beggars are brought into the country from neighboring Tanzania. Shrewd businessmen and women promise them quick money, an opportunity that they often jump on. Every morning, they are brought into the CBD and placed in various strategic points with human traffic under the watch of their masters. They wait all day as sympathizers toss a coin.
Nakuja hapa kukaa ili kusudi nisaidiwe na watu. Sababu mimi sina jinsi ya kuweza kumlea huyu mtoto. Na pia babake ni jinsi nilivyojifungua. Huyu mtoto baba yake alimkataa. Akadai tumuue.
Hawa walemavu hata shilingi hawawezi wakaguza katika pesa ile. Kwa maana ile pesa kuna tajiri wao ambaye amewaajiri, ambao amewaleta hapa Kenya, ambaye amewakombolea nyumba, ambaye anajua kile ambacho wanakula na wanakunywa kwa kila siku.
It is a vicious cycle. The rule is, if you don't get money, you simply do not eat. Now, the thirst for money has led to what you would describe as modern-day slavery, where the vulnerable have to lead a do-or-die life to fatten the pockets of the greedy.
Mlemavu saa zingine atasikia kwenda haja. Mlemavu saa zingine atasikia kunywa kikombe cha maji. Lakini akiwa pale hawezi enda haja, haja anaenda hapo mahali yupo. Maji hawezi akakunywa kwa mchana mzima na atashinda pale. Na ikifika ni kama mchana, hao ambao wamewaleta kama matajiri wao ndio wanazungukaga wakiangalia wao walemavu, wakiwaangalia kama mtu yuko pale, kama ule mwingine ambaye aliyoko pale yuko pale, na kama hauko jioni mshahara hakuna.
October last year, a human trafficking syndicate was discovered in Mombasa, with 6 suspects having been arrested. A group of persons with disabilities were found locked up in a room after being lured into the country to pursue greener pastures, only to be forced to hit the streets begging. It is reported that many of these syndicates are operating in the country and no concrete measures have been taken to apprehend the culprits.
Walemavu wale ambao wanatolewa Tanzania, hilo ni jukumu la serikali kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna mlemavu anatolewa nchi nyingine, analetwa nchi nyingine kuomba senti.
However, the story of the plight of people with disabilities goes deeper, especially for Kenyans who have been forced to beg to survive. Many of them say that opportunities are hard to come by and funding by the government ran dry at least 6 months ago.
Hiyo board haijawekwa, pesa imelala huko treasury. Sasa sisi kama walemavu tunataka hiyo board iwe in place na mikakati ipangwe ya kisawasawa ya kuhakikisha kwamba mlemavu amesaidika.
According to the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, the expiry of the Council's Board of Trustees has seen no funding trickle down to the PWDs.
We sympathize with the people with disabilities because, as I said, we cannot release the funds until the board approves, because that is the work of the board. It's not the work of the secretariat. However, what we are doing as a council, we are getting requests and we are trying to inform them that once the board is in place, we should be able to give them all the funding they have requested for.
Apart from funding from government, This vulnerable group laments that opportunities that were once their preserve have been taken over by people who are able-bodied.
Zile kazi ambazo tulikuwa tumezoea walemavu wanafanya hapa Nairobi, kama za kuuza peremende na sigara na kufanya kazi ya shoeshine, na pia zile vio viko hapa Nairobi zingine walemavu tulikuwa tumepewa, siku hizi hazipo.
It is a situation that calls for urgent attention. People with disabilities say the government needs to act fast and install a board that can give them the financial support that is rightfully theirs. They also say they need opportunities in order to attain self-sufficiency. Betty Kyallo, KTN.